So what the hell is going on with the new Blade movie? Is this thing ever coming out? I've been waiting since I was a kid for another Blade movie after Trinity, but apparently they were never planning a sequel to Trinity. Though in 2009 they were trying to make a prequel series, and clearly that never happened. It was great to hear that they were making a new Blade movie though. But it was revealed recently that the movie was going to be made, lost its director a month before that they were supposed to start shooting, and was supposed to release a year from now. I doubt the movie is going to release when they'd originally planned based on this information. The official reason for why the director left was scheduling, but apparently the director was having issues with the script. And the new Blade actor Mahershala Ali is also sick of the process, having to change directors and rewrite the script. All of these constant changes would make anyone pissed off and question whether these people actually know what the fuck they're doing. Ali, who was given the role back in 2019, has already appeared in another Marvel adaptation, which was playing Cottonmouth, the bad guy in the Luke Cage TV show, and he did a good job. I think he's actually already played Blade as a cameo as well. I initially was against anyone playing Blade other than Wesley Snipes, because I don't think anyone fits the role better. But I think he's going to work well in the role. I'm just waiting to see how his performance goes. And even though he's no longer Blade, some fans hope that Wesley Snipes gets some kind of role in the movie, like the role of Whistler, which would be cool, but unless it's a small cameo, I don't see them getting Wesley Snipes for the movie. He's actually spoken about the movie, praising Ali, giving him almost like his blessing, saying he's a talented actor who appreciates the craft and the art form of acting. So are they right to be mad at the script? Well, apparently based on rumours, the movie was basically going to be an Underworld ripoff, which is funny because movies like Underworld probably wouldn't exist without Blade. The movie was going to be about, or have some plot around, Blade's daughter. It would specifically be an Underworld Awakening ripoff, as Blade would have a daughter that would be used as a weapon, who would get bit, basically becoming invincible, and the bite would come from a werewolf. This part sounds ridiculous, but the rest is plausible. In fact, I heard ages ago, before this story came out, that the new movie would be about Blade's daughter. Now, with this being said, Kate Beckinsale actually said back in 2016 that a crossover between Underworld and Blade was in the works at some point in the future, but hasn't yet happened. With this installment though, I guess it leaves the series open to a crossover, and this would also be a year after Marvel got the rights back, so maybe the idea isn't completely off the table. The new Blade movie apparently would also take plot points from the original Blade, which shouldn't be surprising as it's a reboot, but it didn't have much action, which would mostly happen in two big sequences, which Ali took issue with. The movie would also take plot points from the original Blade, which shouldn't be surprising as it's a reboot, but it didn't have much action and it would mostly take place in two big sequences, which Ali took issue with, which would start by showing Blade's mum being bitten and Blade being raised as an orphan in the 1920s, so I didn't even know Blade was that old. The director of that movie also had people scared that the movie was going to be PG-13, like most of the other Marvel adaptations, which would have been awful and wouldn't have made sense since Deadpool gets to be R-rated. I know that they're going to put Blade in the MCU, and that's not interesting at all. No one wants to see a PG Blade. But if you're already going to do that, then just leave this movie alone. And this is how they were going to treat the series, which allowed for all of these other movies to exist. If you don't remember, it was the success of the first Blade back in '97 that showed Marvel could make these big movies, and they followed it up with Spider-Man and X-Men. A lot of these movies would have still been made eventually, but it would have been way later, and with different actors, directors, and wouldn't resemble what came to be. And not only did Blade help those other movies to exist, but there's a bunch of other movies that I think wouldn't exist without Blade as well. Like almost all of these parkour, over-the-top gymnastics action movies of the late 90s and early 2000s, not just Underworld, but also The Matrix and also the Resident Evil movies. So anyway, we don't have to worry, I guess, since those ideas have been scrapped and it now has a new director and the movie's moving in the new direction. Going back to the original form, meaning the movie won't be watered down like the other Marvel adaptations. So anyway, that's what they say, because at this point they'd have to change the entire story because what was rumoured to be the story sounds like dog shit. I didn't even know there were werewolves in Blade, but I guess there was a deleted scene in Blade Trinity with a werewolf in a casino. So anyway, this is one of the only properties that Marvel has that I actually give a shit about. I don't want them to fuck it up like the last one. There was shit like X-Men and Punisher. The Punisher was cancelled. Outside of Logan, X-Men hasn't had a good movie in like 10 years. So this is the last thing that Marvel has to not disappoint me with. So the question is, will the movie be good? Well, with a new director and writer, there's some hope that the movie might actually be good. But unless it's delayed further, the story could just be half-assed.